Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are listening to today's Life After Her podcast with yours truly, Nicole and Sweeney. Guys, we are on episode number 44 entitled Ride or Die Friend. We only have 2 more weeks left in the Life After Her podcast, and I could not be more excited. Before we go into today's episode, I just want to thank all of you for participating in my 1-year book anniversary as we celebrated with a sip in a chat. If you have not checked out last week's episode, make sure you go and check it out on my YouTube page at Nicole and Sweeney, or check out Spotify under Life After Her with Nicole and Sweeney. Whatever you do, just make sure you go and check it out. I thank you guys so much. This has been an amazing year with the launching of my self-published fiction novel, and I could not be more excited. I thank you for your support, your love, your prayers, and taking an interest in something that God deposited in me to create for the world. And so I pray that you are just blessed by this whole process of life after her. And may you always remember that there is life after her. All right, let's go into episode number 44 entitled Ride or Die Friend. Now, if you would have listened to last week's episode, you would have learned that Journee and Izzie were actually on a trip, a little outing on a evening, and they went to skate. Journee was at the skating ring, and she was just in her feelings and in her thoughts about her relationship with Khase. And she could not get it off her mind. She knew something was going on behind the scenes without her knowing about Khase, but she had no proof and no evidence. So what did Journee do? I'm glad you asked. She went and approached Khase. She wanted answers, y'all. She really wanted answers because she cared so much for Khase. She loved Khase. She thought there was a future in her relationship with Khase, but there was just something on the inside of her that would not sit right. So that night, it was 1-something in the morning. She wanted answers. So this is how the story goes. Journee and Izzie left the skating ring around 1:40 something in the morning. They got to Khase's house. Mind you, this is where Journee was staying as well. It was very dark at night. It was a spring. It was a spring type of weather. The weather was cool. It was very dark outside. And the house that Journee was staying in, where Khase lived, it had a cemetery across the street. So you talk about dead silence. Early in the morning, it was dead silence and dark. And it was just a very, very eerie feeling that Journee was having that night. So they approached the house, and Journee walked up to the door, but no one was home. She proceeds to walk downstairs back to the front of the house, and she hears a car coming. Yes, it was Khase, Journee. Journee was outside, but inside the car was Khase, Gracie, and baby Glory. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you just wanted closure and you were going to get closure no matter what the situation was? Well, that's how Journee was feeling. It probably wasn't the best time to approach that scenario because her emotions were all over the place, but she wanted closure. Now, let me say this about closure. Closure isn't always necessary, and sometimes closure is a potential to reopen doors that should be closed. So if you are in a season where you're trying to get closure about a particular thing, ask God if that situation needs closure. Some situations do need closure, but there are certain situations that just do not need closure. The door needs to be closed, and it could be potential for you to reopen a door if you want closure. So ask God for guidance. And that's what Journee should have done. She should have asked God for guidance in that moment, but she didn't. And here we are. So she wanted closure. She approached Khase in the car, and she ends up punching Khase in his face. Khase is in the driver's seat. Journee runs down the stairs to his side of the car, to the driver's side of the car where he was. And she is yelling in such a high tone, in frustration, and she wants answers, right? She wants to know what's going on. So Journee is standing outside of the driver's seat and is screaming to the top of her lungs. She didn't get the answer that she wanted, and she draws back her fist and punches Khase in the left side of his face. Now that's when all commotion begins to happen. Everybody gets out the car. There's yelling and screaming going on. Khase is trying to explain why he is in the situation that he's in. He shares that he has post-traumatic stress disorder. He's trying to tell Journee what is going on, but Journee was just not hearing it. Journee could not believe what was going on in that moment, and she was just too through. When I say too through, Journee was too through. So that is all I'm going to share with you all on today's podcast episode. If you want to know more about what goes down, I suggest you go purchase a copy of my book, Life After Hurt, off of my website at NicoleSweeney.org, or you can purchase it on Amazon. It gets juicy, y'all. Make sure you go and check it out. And today's affirmation is, when you feel like your life is falling apart, God knows exactly how to put it back together. When you feel like your life is falling apart, God knows exactly how to put it back together. Sometimes we feel we go through certain unexpected events in our life that's unfair, that we did not see coming, and we feel our life is over. We feel like our life is without purpose. We feel like there is nothing after that very moment in our lives. But God knows exactly how to put our lives together. He knows the people we need. He knows the exact blessings that we need. He knows the encouragement that we need as well in order for us to move from life after hurt. And so if you're in a season or in a space where you just feel like your life is falling apart, rest assured that God knows exactly what to do to put your life together. And it may not happen as soon as you want, as quickly as you want, but just know that day by day, God is taking those little puzzle pieces and putting it back together. He's not missing a point. He's not missing a puzzle. He is not missing a piece. He is going to put you back together all over again. So stay encouraged. Be sure to check out episode next week entitled Ghetto Hot Entanglement Mess, which is episode number 45. Y'all, there's only 2 more weeks left in the podcast episode. So make sure you tune in. And if you haven't tuned into all the episodes, make sure you catch up so you can know what's going on. Until then, I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of the morning, afternoon, or evening. And remember that God is proud of you. Take care. Bye.